In my honest opinion, I think if I'll be ranking some aspect of filmmaking based on how important they are to me personally, I'll probably start with lighting. As you all know, if you follow my channel very well, I'm a very big fan of lighting, and to me, that's probably the most important part of filmmaking because literally you can't do anything without light. And when I mean you can't do anything without light, I'm not talking about the physical softbox or COB light or panel light. What I mean is you can't literally see anything without light. So it might be your natural light, it might be your artificial light. So for me, lighting is very important. How to shape it, how to maneuver things to fit the kind of story you're trying to tell. And after lighting, the next most important thing for me on that hierarchy will be set design, which I will categorize costume design, set design, anything that flows with design for set and the whole production. I will rank that probably second or very close to lighting. And the next after that would be the lenses and then the cameras. So I know most people will probably rank the camera first, and some people will argue what I'm saying. This is my opinion, and I'm just a filmmaker or a DP that is just growing and learning. So this is my opinion at the moment, and I believe that as I'm growing, I'm learning more. So not too sure what will happen in the next 5 years. Well, I'm well grown into this role, but as it is now, I think like lighting is very important, your set design is very important, then your lenses, and then your cameras. So talking about set design, which is the core of the commercial we'll be breaking down today, I initially picked interest in lighting, as you all know from this channel, and like I said before, but for this particular commercial I had to come up with set design by myself because the budget didn't really allow us to hire someone to do the set design. So after learning that set design, costume design is as important as your lighting, then your camera and your lenses, I eventually spent like 1/3 of the budget for set design. And before we go far into this topic, let's watch the commercial together and we'll pick it up from there.
Choices? One click. Success unlocked. Need a quick mock before your interview? Yes, you can do it anywhere.
Even here? How flexible is that?
And when it's go time, she nailed it. Just look at that smile.
Welcome back again to my channel. In today's video, we'll be breaking down this commercial we made for MockThatInterview. And this client reached out to me because he's seen the one we did for Agendify now, and he said he wants something very similar to that. After getting the whole info I needed from him, I reached out to my very good friend who was the director on this particular project in person of Kashilembo Wabu, and we've done a couple of series together. We did Agendify now together, and it's wise for me to actually reach out to him because we've done something similar together before and the client wants something similar to that. So I reached out to him, then we started the whole planning, the pre-production, which is where I'll start the whole breakdown. So the pre-production started with myself and Cash talking about the plans, the idea we want to create, and we started pulling frames together and we came up with a storyboard. We shared this with the client and they were happy with it. And then next thing on the list was to get location. So we were struggling to get location in the first place because we have to film 4 different scenes and we were shooting for a day. because the budget won't really allow us to overshoot past a day. So we're trying to like put everything into one day and make sure we get everything done. We're working with one model, and she's been on my channel before as well, and she's been on my project before. So having to do all of these 4 scenes in one day and moving location will pretty be challenging, and moving equipment and all of that. So we're looking at getting all of our scenes in one location, which was very challenging. I tried my best, but I couldn't find the perfect place to use until myself and Cash were speaking, and we ended up using a studio space which we renovated sort of, or we designed sort of to fit what we wanted. But we had the space, and what we just need to do is to design it to fit what we wanted to do. So in terms of set design, in terms of pre-production, the most important thing we did was having a storyboard which is guiding what we wanted to create, and then a particular look that we want, and then we started building the sets. It's a blank wall. We painted it, we designed it, we bought frames, bought lights, everything to make it look like a bedroom that a lady will live in. And then we tried as much as possible to work with the color of the brand that we are working with. As little as those things might seem, they actually made the whole commercial look really lively and looks intentional, if I'll put it that way. Because when you see the commercial, you see the brand, you see the branding, you know this works hand in hand. So we spent a whole lot of time. We spent like weeks trying to put this space together, and I was so excited seeing the end result. To not waste much of your time, I will probably talk about this in another video, because I think we spent a lot on this. We spent money on this as well. If you are interested in like the set design process, like in details, you can leave a comment down in the comment section, and I'll probably make a video about it. So on production day, we came early and we started with the less stressful scene. So I've learned this from, I can't remember who, but I was watching a video on YouTube, and the person was talking about how to prioritize scenes or frames while you are filming, and that way you have time to spend on the other shots or other frames you want to get. So most of the time before now, I usually go for how the thing is like sketched out in my storyboard, but I'm trying to prioritize, like if I start with the most technical or most difficult scene, I'll probably spend more time on that. And because we're shooting a day and we don't have the luxury of time to stay that long on one scene, so I started with the easiest shot, and that was a yoga scene, which I won't really talk much about it, but I'll just brush through it. And so we started with the yoga scene, which I'll just bring 1 or 2 frames from there. This, and basically it's just a scene whereby a lady in a space is doing yoga, and while she's doing yoga, she's practicing interview, or she's practicing for our interview, which she's going to do in the next couple of hours. So the whole idea of the commercial is we went from her making a choice between AI or human to her being so free with the AI, and then asking questions, getting feedback, being asked questions, then giving the answers back, and then she's getting really comfortable, which obviously helped her in a real interview. She went to her bathroom having the same kind of vibe, still brushing her teeth and then answering questions. During yoga session, that was the free time for her to also maximize. She was doing that, also having the questions being answered. Then she went for the interview, got the job, and everybody happy at the end. So happy ending. So that's the idea of the commercial. So we shot this on the red Komodo X and Zeiss Super Speed Primed, which was pretty expensive to rent, but anything for the shots, like I said, in order of lighting to set design, then to lenses, then to camera. So we shot that on the Zeiss Super Speed. And right, so if I'm to break down, like I said, we have 4 scenes. This is the bedroom scene, and that's probably the most technical one because we have to design all of this room. I'll try and get the picture of the space before we started, or maybe in the next video, which I'll be talking about how we set design this whole thing. I will talk in depth about that, but this is the most technical one for us, and this is the opening scene. So that's one scene. And then we have the brushing of teeth, which is a bathroom, which I will talk about too in a moment. And then we have the yoga scene, which is the easiest by far, and we started with this shot. And then we have the last scene, which is the office scene where she got the job at the very end. So breaking down this project, I will start with this one and walk us through the whole idea behind it. So like I said, this was shot on the red Komodo X, and we use the Zeiss Super Speed. So in terms of lighting, we have our practical here, which is a bulb in this lamp. And then, so if I'm to draw a frame to show how the room is, so let's say this is the room, and this is our talent. These are the bookshelf. These are the bookshelf behind that, and we have our key lights here, which is shining into our face here, and that's the Godox F200 by. And then we have our background light, which is giving this kind of contrast from the background and ourselves. And you can see the effect here, all over here, even here sometimes here, and all of these add feel of lights, especially here and here and here. So that's coming from outside, so that's coming outside of the window, and that's the aperture 600D. So all of those lights coming straight into in through the window to the back, not hitting the talent. So as you can tell, no hard light on our face. What I would have done in a future project would be getting the hard light to or another hard light maybe somewhere around here to kind of bounce on our body and have soft light on our face and hard light on our body. So but for this one, we literally have the hard light coming through and going to the background, just as you can see all on this shelf. So, and then we use a Freener F10 Freener to get more power from that and to concentrate the light into the background, because we're shining it through a glass, that's the window. And then, like I said, the key light was the Godox F200 by. I absolutely can't remember what white balance we were on at that point, but I'm sure it's something a bit not too warm, not too cool, probably 4,000. I can't really remember, maybe 4,000 Kelvin, and that's kind of working with the skin tone here and giving us all these soft lights on our body, which, if you know me very well, I'm a huge fan of soft light. So all of that on our body, that's the soft light. And then you can tell the shadow from this side. So this side, there was literally nothing from here, and there was nothing bouncing the light back to our face. So you can tell the shadow from this end as well. So, and when we are shooting, the interviewer is this person, and because we are limited in terms of people and budget, we had our director sitting as the interviewer, and that's Cash's out there. So we're shooting right from the shadow side, and camera was positioned about here. Literally, that's all we did here. And yeah, that's all for this scene. And quickly I'll go to, so for this particular scene, it's the same thing like I showed earlier, but the only thing that is different from that previous scene is you can tell the window is here, and that's where the big light, the 600, is coming from. And like, if you are seeing this, these are sticky papers that we have on a glass which is in front, and then the camera is behind it. Why we have these stickers here and why we shot this outside of the window is to show someone else's perspective of looking through to see what's going on. So this is a glass, this is an office, they have stickers, like all the sticky paper that you put your agendas and stuff on. So that's the idea. We have like 3 or 4 colors there, and we shot through the glass, which came out really nice and I love it. So now let's go straight into this particular shot. So this is the bathroom scene, and you will be surprised to know that we only use one light in this space, and the only light we use is the Aperture Amaranth T2C. You know the Amaranth T2C, this particular light. So what I did was place that in the bathtub and was shining it upward, so it was giving this blue feel of light. That's creating a kind of teal and orange look. Like I said initially, the color of the brand is blue and like deep blue, and we're trying to, for almost all of the scene, trying to bring in a blue pattern, either on the dress the talent is wearing, or on the background, or somewhere around the shot. So as you can tell in this frame, blue is the prominent color, and we are only getting that blue through that Amaranth T2C. So you can actually do the same kind of shot with one light. So what we had to advantage to get this light on our face was so if the frame is like this, there is a small bathroom window which sun was shining in from there, and our talent is here brushing our teeth, and then behind her I have the T2C shining upward, and then giving her hair light, giving a rim of light around behind her, at the same time making this a blue feel of light. So I'm trying to remember, I think we had a reflector, a 5-in-1 reflector at this point, which was bouncing was passing bit of those lights back into our face, and you can tell just a little pattern of it, just little, just to like have like a 2:1 ratio, 4:1 ratio here. So passing bit of light on our face here, and then the key lights, which is the sun, which is a very good one because it's very soft at this point, shining all through on our face, on our hand, and then we have bit of shadow because sun is passing from this direction straight into the frame. So this was shot on the Komodo X as well, and I shot with the Zeiss super speed again, and this is probably my I won't say my favorite, but it's one of my favorites for this whole commercial. And that's basically all for this whole scene, the bathroom scene. There's another shot of that which I like, which is this side angle shot. So in this regard, we removed the 5-in-1 reflector, and I was shooting from this end now, and then the sun was coming from this side and was very soft from that small window, and can tell the contrast of the sun on our face here, and then bit of it on our shadow, and then you have the shadow side, and I was filming from there. The T2C was giving us the blue lights like I said earlier, and I just love this frame, like love it. So basically that's all for this bathroom scene. we shot this as well on the red Komodo X, and then Zeiss super speed as well. And basically we have this kind of room, so there is nothing like this. There was something here actually, but there was nothing from this end. But we have the space to put our camera at this end, and our talents was here. Key lights was on this end. Now we have the f200 by from Godox, and then we have a 5-in-1 reflector on this side, giving a bit of shadow into this side. And we have the aperture 600D with the Fresnel f10 Fresnel shining in through here. You can tell some part of it, it's giving this, and then some bright side from here. You might not really see that much, but it was giving this bit of sunlight on this end. Maybe on another shot, I'll try and see if I have another shot, which was really nice on set. And at the same time, it was, exactly, now I see it was giving this pattern of light onto this side and creating that separation from the background. And like I said, we try to go with the flow of the brand and kind of do the costume and the set design in that regard. So there was a blue chef here, and she herself, she's wearing a blue outfit, and we have blue frame, part of blue, and then other colors that look feminine. And I want to talk more on this frame, but at the same time I don't want this video to get too long. But like I said, I'll make a video, probably a video about how we design this space and talk individually about things we use and why we use them. And if you're interested, you can give a comment down, like I said, so that I'll know that people are actually interested in that. And basically, let me just stop there because it's a whole lot of frames to break down, and these are frames from there, frames from that scene. That's basically everything that I quickly want to brush about on this commercial that we did. I'm so excited about it, and I'm glad it came out really nice, and the client was happy. There was one front and back, and that was it. And if you have something like that in mind and you want to create commercials like that, I would highly recommend that you start doing something first. You start doing a spec commercial, then someone can see that and trust you enough to hire you, to pay you to film or to create something like that which you want to create. So like us, we started with spec commercials like we did for Slazenger, and that was the spec commercial, and then the Agent Finance, this guy saw it and he was interested in it, and then here we are. So I believe by putting all our efforts, putting our budgets really much more on the production rather than filling our pockets and creating something very good, I'm sure someone else will see this and be so interested in us doing something like that for them. And obviously we up the game again, and higher we keep going. And that's all for today. And if you have any question regarding this commercial, you have something you want to say, you want to add, you want to subtract, you want to know more about anything that I've mentioned or I didn't remember to mention, please do well to leave a comment down in the comment section, and I'll be there to answer your questions and your suggestions. That's a wrap for today. I will see you guys in another video. Bye.